Giants fans, what is going on? The NFL season is back, and the Giants are undefeated. I don't care if it's preseason. The Giants, they're undefeated. I enjoyed watching the game. I want to give a shout-out to everybody that joined the live stream. We had a great time. If you enjoyed watching the Giants win a football game, I want you to type Big Blue in the comments right now. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to react to all of the overreactions that are out there on Twitter and on the Giants blog pages. We're going to react to those because it is preseason, and I don't think we should overreact to everything, but I do think there are some things out there that people are reacting to accordingly. Let's start with the one that's the most ludicrous. Tyrod Taylor should start. That's an overreaction. He looked good, no doubt. Davis Webb, he looked good. He led an 80-yard game-winning drive at the end of the game for the Giants to come out on top. But Daniel Jones in his limited action also did look good. When you look at the stat breakdown, Taylor played way more than Jones. Jones was 6 of 10 for 69 yards. You can type nice in the comments section. Tyrod Taylor was 13 for 21 with a $130. They're both average yards per attempt were 11.5 and 9.9. Tyrod Taylor did throw that touchdown to Richie James. Daniel Jones, he led the first drive of the game down into the New England Patriots red zone. But he led them down there, got a field goal. The second drive, they went 3 and out. They didn't look good. They had a couple of sacks. But Tyrod Taylor, he looked well as well. He looked like a vet. He looked like the guy that you brought in here to be. He's a great backup. We know that. That's what he showed. He was cool, calm, and collected in the pocket. He was decisive. He made good throws. He was able to buy time in the pocket. He was able to move around, give time to receivers to create separation. But he's a backup, and that's what he is. He's a really good one. He might be one of the best in the NFL, but he is not going to start games for the New York Football Giants this year, in my opinion, unless Daniel Jones gets hurt. Because if Jones plays bad, let's say, and you insert Tyrod Taylor, do you think he's going to bring you to the playoffs? He may win you a couple games, but he may win too many games that would make the New York Giants pick worse in the NFL draft. It's a win-win situation in my opinion if you roll with Daniel Jones. Because if he plays good, he's your guy going forward. If he plays bad, he's going to play you right into having a good draft pick to select Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud or whatever quarterback comes out of this college football season and is going to be a top 5 pick. So I don't really understand the Tyrod Taylor wanting to start wave. I get it a little bit because a lot of people hate on Daniel Jones, but I want all Giants fans right now to pick a quarterback. Let me know. Who are you rocking with? Type 8 if you want to see Daniel Jones as the starter, or if you think Tyrod Taylor is the guy and he should be the starter, I want you to type 2 in the comments section. A lot of people on Twitter were saying Evan Neal struggled, and that is an overreaction as well. Did he give up a sack? Yes. Did he look like a rookie at times? Yes, because that's what he is. He's a rookie, but I went back and watched the film. Every single snap that he was on the field, he was there for 18 snaps, the first and the second drive. Of the 18 total snaps, he had 12 winning reps. He also had 2 losing reps. And then he had 4 neutral reps where he didn't get beat, but he didn't beat the guy across from him, and it didn't really impact the play, like a backside block on a stretch left. He looked good. He had some finishing blocks the first play of the game. He had a pancake block. He asserted his dominance. I do think he needs to get a little better at his get-off. It seems like he gets off the line of scrimmage sometimes a little bit too slow, but he looked like a rookie, and that's what he is. He's going to get better. The more reps that Evan Neal gets, especially at that right tackle spot, he's going to continue to get better every single game. The offensive line in general looked pretty good, especially the first team. Shane Lemieux had to leave the game because of that toe injury. John Feliciano played good. Andrew Thomas, he looked really good. Only played the first drive of the game, did not allow a single pressure on 7 pass blocking snaps. Mark Lewinsky looked good. It was kind of the backup offensive lineman that struggled a little bit. Joshua Azudu, he got beat a couple of times. I think he had his welcome to the NFL moment. Right off the line of scrimmage, he got blown back about 3 or 4 yards, and you could kind of tell that he had that, oh shit, this is the NFL. This isn't North Carolina anymore. Jamil Douglas also left. He had an ankle injury where it forced him to leave the game a little bit early. I thought Ben Bredesen played really, really well. I liked what I saw from him. The depth in general, I do think, is a little bit of a question mark. But the starters that played in the little limited action, they looked good. So I want all of you right now to get out your red pen and grade the Giants' offensive line performance. Let me know. Type A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know. Grade the Giants' offensive line performance in your opinion. Collin Johnson, he had a great game. He did have that fumble, which, kind of lessened the hype, I would say. Golladay did not play good. He had a drop touchdown, or if he caught it, he could have scored. If he ran a better route, he could have scored. But is Collin Johnson better than Golladay? That's what a lot of people are saying, and that's an overreaction. And I like Collin Johnson, the wide receiver out of Texas, about 6'6", a very similar player to a guy like Kenny Golladay. But honestly, outside of Golladay, all of the Giants receivers played well. Golladay did have that one catch for 6 yards. Collin Johnson played really well. He had 7 grabs for 82 yards. He did have a couple of drops, but he looked good. He did have that fumble, which hurt him. Richie James, he had 3 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown. Darius Slayton had 1 catch for 17 yards. It was a screen pass. Richie James had a nasty route that he scored on. Love to see that out of him. I think he's going to make this roster. And when you look at the depth chart and the guys that potentially will make this roster and fill out the back end of the Giants wide receiver depth chart, you're looking at guys that are competing, like Darius Slayton, Collin Johnson, C.J. Board, Richie James. David Sills did not play. Robert Foster had a couple of plays. Bachman had a couple of plays. Golladay, Shepard, Toney, and Wan'Dale Robinson are going to make this team. It's just the next 3 guys. I think it's going to be Board, James, and Johnson right now. I think Slayton's on the outside looking in because he doesn't really provide some special teams, production. But we have 2 more preseason games to go to, so that could definitely change. And once the Giants start making cuts to their roster, we're going to get you guys a video out once they do that. Once they go from 90 people to 85 people, we'll get you guys a video with the latest Giants news and rumors, because that's what we do on this channel. We go live twice a week. We put out videos every single day. When news breaks, we put a video out. Sometimes you get 2 a day. When hot rumors come out, we talk about them and break them down. That's why you should subscribe. If you love the Giants and you're looking for another place to get Giants content, go down right now, hit that big red button. Another talking point I feel like after this game was the Giants running backs looked great. All of them did. Antonio Williams, Gary Brightwell, Jashaun Corbin, Sandro Platzgummer had a good run, and Saquon Barkley, and that's accurate. That is not an overreaction. The Giants running backs might be the second most talented position group on this team behind the defensive line. I feel like that might have been a stretch a couple of weeks ago, but when you saw what these 4 backs did last night, how can you not say that? Saquon had a limited rep. He didn't play that much, only 4 carries for 13 yards, but I like the way that he was running the football. Saquon also had a big catch on a 3rd down, got matched up one-on-one with a linebacker, and just took advantage of him. That's what we want to see. It was a good play call. Gary Brightwell surprised the hell out of me. I thought he was a guy that might get cut, but he ran the ball hard as hell. He was running through arm tackles, yards after contact, 7 carries for 40 yards. Antonio Williams also ran really well. That was a surprise. I like the way he ran the downhill style. He kept his pads out in front of him, stayed behind his pads, delivered a blow, a hard runner, and the undrafted free agent Jashaun Corbin also played really well. He showed a good first step, some quickness, and some receiving game skills. He had 5 grabs for 28 yards. Brightwell had 2 catches for 20 yards. The running backs in total looked really, really good. And Sandro Platzgummer, our guy, had that great run in the 4th quarter. But I want to ask you to be the coach. Be Brian Daboll right now. Who is your RB3? Because we know Matt Breida is going to be RB2. We know Saquon Barkley is going to be RB1. Who is going to be RB3? Type JC for Jashaun Corbin, type GB for Gary Brightwell, or AW for Antonio Williams. Somebody that did not look very good, that was Aaron Robinson. Are people overreacting? No, he didn't look good. That's accurate. He got targeted 5 times on one drive. Matt Patricia was picking on Aaron Robinson. He got dusted on a go route. Bad throw by Brian Hoyer. What do you expect? It's a bad throw. Let's look at some stats here. On that play, Brian Hoyer threw a deep ball. Aaron Robinson was toast, but it was a bad throw, and Robinson was able to break it up. On the very next play, they ran the same play, and Robinson got beat. He was in a press man type of look, and the receiver just gave him the okey-doke, got around him, and beat him upfield. He also had 2 penalties. One was absolute BS. It was a taunting call, the classic DB play where you force interceptions and you throw your arms out and you say no. He got flagged for that. He also was called for a holding on the touchdown that he allowed. Wilkerson was tearing him up a little bit. He didn't look that good, but I don't think I'm out on Aaron Robinson. And as we look at this depth chart, he's still my starting outside corner. He was a slot corner, though, coming out of college, so I'd like to see him get those reps. But I do still see the potential in Aaron Robinson. He didn't look good. The Patriots were picking on him, but this is a very thin cornerback group. You got a Dory Jackson. I don't think he should play another snap in preseason because if he gets hurt, this room is in trouble. I liked what I saw from some guys. Cordell Flott looked good. He did leave with a groin injury. Zion Gilbert played all right, but this room is definitely a question mark going into the season. What shouldn't be a question mark is you guys getting hooked up with our proud sportsbook partner, BetUS. The NFL season is back, and it's time to lay some lettuce on the line. Do it at BetUS, chatsports.com/bet. When you deposit $100, they will match that if you use promo code CHAT125 with a 125% deposit bonus. So you'll have 225 bones in your account to bet with, and 125 of them were free. Get started today. Shout out to BetUS, proud sportsbook partner. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Make sure you use the promo code CHAT125. A lot of people on the interwebs are saying that Kayvon Thibodeaux struggled. He didn't have a sack. He didn't have a pressure. He didn't do anything. That's an overreaction. He looked okay. He didn't play all that much. He didn't have a sack. He didn't have a pressure. He didn't have a tackle. But in limited reps in his first game, he didn't look bad. And Jeff Schwartz broke it down on Twitter, I thought, in a really good way. He said the first 2 drives for Kayvon Thibodeaux, summary, still a work in progress with his hands. He's running directly into the right tackle too often. He's been good finding work in the run game. This is what PFF had to say about Kayvon Thibodeaux in his game. He said there wasn't much in the way of splash plays to speak of from the top 10 pick Kayvon Thibodeaux, who was blanked on his 12 snaps. Only played 12 snaps, did not have a pressure. But remember, guys, this is the first time that he has put on the pads and gone up against someone live in a game since December. It's been a long time. He is a rookie, but he did draw the right tackle in a false start. He drew him to jump early. And that just shows you that the offensive linemen, the respect that they have for Kayvon Thibodeaux. He has a lightning quick first step. That's going to put a lot of pressure on offensive tackles. I wouldn't be surprised if Kayvon Thibodeaux doesn't play another snap. He's ready to go week 1. He doesn't have to prove anything to me. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he plays. He might get a sack next week. But I want everyone to show King K, Kayvon Thibodeaux, the rookie, some love in the comments section before we bounce on out of here. Spam number 5 in the comments. Show him some love. Just finished his first game, which is going to be a great New York Football Giants career. I want to say thank you to everybody that's joined and made New York Giants now a part of their day today. If you haven't yet, give me a follow on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I was live tweeting the game last night. It's another way to find out if we drop a video over here. So hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_, and I'll follow the first 10 people back from this video.